It's Kim Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department of the Fashion Institute of Technology. Another tutorial in our series of tutorials. This is working on the band ring project for a JD237 modeling in Rhino. I've set up my front view and my top view to do maquette modeling. I have my stone already modeled and brought into play. I'm going to position it now in line with that girdle reference line I created in my front view, so that the stone is now properly located. The first thing I'm going to want to do in a model like this is do my setting. So first thing I need to do is create this under bezel. I already have the thickness of the wire established. I'm going to draw a circle diameter from mid to mid, and then I'm going to move that out to the side. Now it is important that this under bezel not extend out beyond my girdle when I'm looking down at the drawing, at the design. I'm not going to want to have to see that from the top view. I also want it to have a U cross section, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line off the quad. Both sides, Shift key. Use my guidelines here to trim away the bottom of the circle and the outer perimeters, and then use these to trim off the rest of that construction line. And that will give me the cross section for my under bezel. I'm going to actually bring my stone down a little bit. I'm confident that's where I want the under bezel to be in relationship to the rest of my piece. I'm going to want my stone to bite into that so that it actually forms a seat. You don't want your culet to get closer than about 8/10 to the finger bore, in case the cut of your stone is different than you're predicting. So actually I can't bring it down quite that much. Okay, so to get that seat well established, I'm going to have to move this in a little bit more. I also have the option, if I want to, of making the cross section a little deeper, and I may choose to do that. That's easy. I'll turn on my points, locking the stone so I don't select it accidentally. Grab this bottom series of points and pull them over until I get a good seat contact. I'm going to do a compromise. A little bit of that and a little bit of this to give me good contact there. I want the under bezel to follow the contour, the outline of the girdle. So I'm going to offset this girdle outline in my top view. And I can just reach up and grab this corner using end snap. And I'm going to do it again to grab the outer quadrant. Okay, so these two should give me what I need to sweep my model. I'm going to do a bi-rail sweep. First rail, second rail, cross section, enter. Okay. Alright, that is not giving me what I want, so I'm going to do a revolve. Rail revolve. Right click on revolve. History. Profile. Rail. Start of my axis. I need to go into a vertical C-plane for this, so I'll go into front, 0, and then hold straight up so I get the spindle that the lathe is going to spin on. That gave me a better result. I'm going to want to see how this actually functions as a seat for my stone. So to do that, I'm going to do a Boolean difference. History. Solid difference. Hang on. I have a glitch in Rhino. Hold on. Repeat the command. I want to subtract from here. Enter when done. I want to subtract with this, and I do not want to delete my input. Okay, unfortunately I'm not going to be able to do what I hoped with history. That's okay. But I actually like the seat that I have, so that's fine. I'm going to undo the Boolean for now. So that is my under bezel. Now I want to do my finger rest. To establish my finger rest, I want to get a nice angle here for the cup. Basically, there's not going to be a real cup involved, but a illusory cup, or a reference idea of what the cup that this stone is sitting in looks like, for example. Like so. And I want something that feels elegant. A lot of people will tell you to have it come into the center of the ring, but I think that that is not going to be elegant enough of a taper. I'm going to want something a little steeper. Sorry. I'm going to want something about like that. Okay. I want to establish where I'm going to put my cross section. I'm going to use the same cross section. Control C, Control V, copy and paste. I'm going to just move it down here for a minute while I think about where I want to position it. I want to position it right on the corner of my finger rest reference rail. Which is right here. However, I am going to make it, I want it to really follow the curve of the finger bore, so I'm going to offset another reference line or construction line. I'm going to offset it 1 millimeter, the same thickness. I'm going to take this curve that I'm going to use for my flow and whatnot later, my flow kits. I'm going to put that on another layer so it doesn't confuse me, and then turn off that layer. I'm going to grab this section by its end snap. Let's move from that corner. Then I'm going to grab near snap, and I'm just going to pull this around until it bumps up nicely against against this rail, this reference. Okay, and now I'm going to create the rail, the finger rest, top C-plane. I don't need that inner curve anymore. It didn't work anyway for what I wanted to do. I'm going to offset curve through point. I'm going to grab the outer quadrant of this section. I'm going to once again do a rail revolve. Select profile, select rail. Oh, sorry, I forgot didn't read my command line. Record history. Select profile, select rail. Axis needs to be a vertical, so vertical C-plane 0, shift key straight up to set the spindle on my lathe. Enter window. Now, I'm going to take a look at that. You'll notice that in the top view here, we ended up, in this top rail, we ended up with a varying thickness. And we've ended up with the same thing down here on the finger rest. I want to correct that. I don't really care for it. So before I go any further, I'm going to resurface both of these. And the way I'm going to do that, so I'm going to extract an isocurve from the outer edge of this surface, going to quad snap. Actually, I need my blue layer back because that's where my curve is at. Here. I'm going to do the same thing down below. Here. In fact, I'm going to change the layer of these two so that I can work with them independent of those front view curves. Okay. I am going to extract an isocurve now. I am not actually. I was going to extract one here, but there's no reason to do that. I'm going to turn off the pink surfacing up here, and I'm going to do a line command, a line transfer. I need my top C-plane active for this. Align or orient, 2 points. Copy, yes. Scale, no. Reference point 1, the quadrant. Reference point 2, mid. Okay, I'm not sure why it will not accept a midpoint there. There should be a midpoint. Maybe if I activate the front C-plane. No. Okay, for reasons I do not understand, it is refusing to see the mid-snap on there. Curious about that. I can explode it into 4 segments. That is absolutely a single curve. Yep, it is. Its properties, it's an open curve. Okay, alright. I'm sorry. It should allow me to still snap to that, but since it's looking at this curve in its entirety as a closed curve, it doesn't see it as having a mid-snap. I need that mid-snap, so okay. Working around it. I'm going to actually go back. There's an easier way, because I should have foreseen that as a closed curve. It is not going to see the midpoint being here. It's going to see it being somewhere around this whole length. To avoid having to do what I just did, the logical thing is to project my object snap. Orient 2 points, copy yes, scale no. And now I can go quad end. And because it's projecting those down to the C-plane, it won't matter. just going to hold the Shift key. Since it has a scale no option, it's not going to matter how far over I go. Quad. Now what's interesting is it doesn't want to accept that one, which is okay. I know why. And the reason it wouldn't allow me, and I have to escape to get out of the command or hit enter, is because that's where the seam is. See? Actually, it's not. If there's a seam line there, if it gets confused about the seam, it'll refuse to let you snap where you want to snap. It won't hurt me though. Mirror it over. Then I'm going to offset this curve through point and snap. It's fine. That gives me everything I need to sweep this again. So purple, surface, bi-rail sweep, 2 rails, section. I'm going to pick my sections in the same basic area down at that bottom corner. It just helps to helps Rhino keep it straight as to where to put it. And I don't like where it's putting the seam. I think the seam will be much better at a bottom corner. It would work fine where it was, but that's a more logical place for the seam and the surface to be. Enter. I want it to be a closed seam. A closed sweep. And I want it to be the same height all the way around. And hit OK. And that is a much more consistent object than what we had before. I'll throw away the original. I'm going to treat the lower rail the same way. Finger rail. So I'm going to do the same steps. I'm going to do an orient, 2 points, copy yes, quad, and quad, hold shift key. I'm going to assume it's going to hate this one as well, and it does, just like it did on the previous one, but this one it'll let me have without a problem. Enter when done. It won't let me do that, so I'm going to escape out. Mirror it over. Now something interesting is happening here. I'm not getting very much of an opening at the bottom of the basket. I don't care for that. I don't. So I'm going to move these sections out. A little bit. That's going to change that taper on the front. Or, actually what I'm going to do is I don't want to have such a hard taper on the right view. I want this to be fairly straight in the right view, so that's what I'll do. I'll move this out to get more of a straight relationship here. Throw that away, top C plane, mirror it over. I'm going to need to revise this curve so that it works. Transform, non-uniform scale, 0. I do not want to change it in this direction, so I'll hit 1, enter. I do want to change it in this direction, so from quad, the size that it is now, to quad, the size I want it to be, and then enter, or just 1 for the z-axis because I don't want it to change. And now I'll offset this curve through point, grab that end. Still not much of an opening, so I'm going to reject it. I'm going to move this curve out a little bit. I'm going to move this curve right C-plane so I can have a little more control. I'm going to move that out a little bit. I don't want it to be straight, but I don't want it to be very tapered either. Delete the two that I did not change. Top C-plane, mirror, and mirror. And do another non-uniform scale. 0 is my origin point. X-axis I do want to change this time. Quad to quad, and again quad to quad, and nothing for the Z. Offset curve, through point, and snap. I like that better. Just going to a different layer color so it's easier for you to follow. I don't like having corners here. I'm going to round those corners, those hard corners. Take off project, go straight to end snap, draw me a circle, trim out that corner, curve, blend curve, adjustable blend curve to replace it with a soft corner. I like what Rhino came up with there. It's fine with me. Mirror it across, up and down, mirror them both across. I'm not sure that went straight because there was some hesitation in the mouse. Redid it just to make sure I had a clean mirror. Trimming out the corners, throwing away the trim circles, joining together the curve, putting it back on the white layer. And now I will resurface the finger rest. So, surface, viral sweep, history. Those are my rails. These are my cross sections. Oh, don't want that one. Those. Adjust the seam to the end again. Close sweep, maintain height. That's good. Yes. I'm happy with that for a start. Okay? That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.